Honestly, my kids would be so much better behaved.
Go easy on him.
As soon as they have a baby, we're done for. Maybe we're better off without them.
Don't stare at the scenery rushing by. Look at a fixed point on the horizon and just lock your eyes onto that.
Perfect. Tamari Perrineau with Black Tree TV. Okay. So I love the film. I love your part in the film. It was so hilarious. So I know that your daughter actually influenced you to take the role. So how was it like seeing it in theaters with her?
It was so great because, as you say, she was the main reason I did the film. I didn't feel I could do the film because I was about to go off and direct a film of my own, and I just wasn't sure if I had the time, but she absolutely insisted. I have to say, coming out of the pandemic, it was the first film that we had been able to see as a family in over a year. So there was an extra special feeling of joy getting to see it, combined with the fact that it's just a really fun and great movie.
Perfect. I love that. So what's her favorite What's her favorite story that you read to her growing up? Or what's your favorite childhood story?
Oh, there's a book called We're Going on a Bear Hunt, which she loves, and that we would read to her every night religiously. I was a big fan of Winnie the Pooh growing up myself. I have 4 kids, so reading stories, telling stories is a big part of our family life, but I've rarely made films that my family, certainly my younger kids can see. So that's one of the great things about getting to do Peter Rabbit too.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, okay, I'm used to him playing in this role. So when I saw you in it, I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. So how was that experience like actually playing in that whimsical film compared to what you usually do?
Yeah, it's just great to be able to, with my nieces and my kids and just kids generally, it's just an audience that my work generally has not necessarily been seen by. I've done sort of animated things like Star Wars Rebels and The Lion Guard, but this is one of the big movies I've done that can be for the family, and so it's really, really lovely to sort of be in front of that audience.
Beautiful. So Nigel in the film, he kind of loves the creative control of changing things. So how would you edit the book if you were actually able to be in that process? How would you capture Peter Rabbit in the sequel if you had to write the book?
Well, gosh, I like to think I would be nothing like Nigel Basil Jones. I mean, this is a very exploitative, slightly predatory individual, not unlike some of the folks we see in Hollywood, if I'm totally honest. But I like to think I would be a bit more faithful to the books, a bit more respectful to the books, in a sense. But I do think that Will Gluck has done a great job of taking the spirit and the essence of these books and then putting them into this sort of big Hollywood film version that the world is really coming to enjoy. So I actually really admire what he's been able to do with this franchise.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So what are your opinions on creative feelings when it comes to making books, film, or any type of directing, since you are in that field? So how do you feel about that creative control and freedom and expression?
Well, I think that if you're constantly focused on the audience and whether it's pleasing them, challenging them, educating them, edifying them, if that's top of mind, then I think you can't go far wrong. If all you're thinking about is commerce and making money, I think at some point the audience will reject it, because we can feel when something is truly made for them as opposed to something that is being force-fed to them. And so, it's just a shift in mindset. And I like to think of myself as someone who's always being mindful of how one can actually serve and edify the audience.
That is amazing. So what key factors play into you when you're taking these roles or even creating your own body of work?
Yeah, I think for me, it's about constantly challenging myself, trying to do something different than the last thing I did, as is exemplified by Peter Rabbit 2, doing work that maybe is unexpected, playing the antagonist as opposed to the hero, being in a family film as opposed to something maybe more dramatic. I think that's the way to have a long career, is to keep on, switching things up so that people get excited, hopefully, about the thing that you're going to do next.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Oh, I'm gonna wrap it up. So Oh, you answered everything for me. So thank you so much for talking with me today. And I love the film and I love Nigel, besides being like the bad guy in the film. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too.